Hello guys, today we will discuss about United Nations, why it is in context and how the birth of UN has happened and aims and objectives of UN and what are the challenges of UN. You must have seen in papers like, it is a time for reforms of UNSC. Why? Why we need to have reforms and also what India is making for UNSC reforms and how it is important for India. Okay. It context, every day on October 24th, United Nations Day has been celebrated because on that day it has been formed or established. And also in the recent 60th BRICS summit held at Kazan, Russia, Prime Minister Narendra Modi insisted of UNSC reforms. So, first thing, every year it is celebrated on October 24th, United Nations Day, and also Prime Minister Narendra Modi insisted for UNSC reforms. This is the reason why we need to focus. Basically a context. Okay. So, now we will see birth of UN, how UN has been formed. See, for example, in World War I, 1914 to 1918. See, we don't want war. Any war, it is lead to devastation of human loss or infrastructure loss or everything. All countries will be going on fighting as we are witnessing now. What is happening at Russia, Ukraine? What is happening in Israel, Palestine, Lebanon, Iran? Many small players are included. So to stop that war, we need to have a peace and security across world. That is the reason former US President Woodrow Wilson came up with 14 points agenda in Jan 1918. 14 points agenda where he has discussed about the peace, security, cooperation and end of the war. It gave birth to League of Nations at Paris Conference in 1919. This gave birth to League of Nations. This League of Nations has been incorporated with Treaty of Versailles. This is a peace treaty to end World War I. To end World War I. And it is a peace treaty. Okay, this has been formed, Treaty of Versailles, League of Nations. League of Nations is nothing but it is like, it is a document or something you can make or coming together of nations to end World War and have a dialogue and we shall strive towards peace and security among nations. So, this is how the timeline. But at the time of World War II, 1939, this League of Nations was abandoned because it was not ratified by all nations. Again, as we are again seeing the World War II, it is like destruction. Like, former US President Roosevelt and Winston Churchill, in their secret meeting, they want to have a world with peace and security. Here, they have issued Atlantic Charter. Atlantic Charter. By Atlantic Charter, on 1st Jan 1942, UN 49 countries signed for United Nations. After the secret meeting of Roosevelt and Winston Churchill, Roosevelt coined the term United Nations on 1st Jan 1942. 26 countries UN. They have signed for the formation of UN. So at the end, after all talks, on 26th October 1945, UN has been formed by signing of 51 countries, where permanent 5 members and 46 other countries. So who are the 5 members? US, UK, France, Russia, and China. So now at present UN has 193 members. Okay, see, this is the timeline and outline how the birth of UN, how the UN has been formed. Earlier, we have seen the flowchart of Woodrow Wilson 14 points. These are the facts. Why League of Nations has been abandoned? Because it is not ratified by all nations. Then Treaty of Versailles has been, League of Nations has been incorporated into Treaty of Versailles, which is peace treaty. And then World War II, 1939, League of Nations was totally collapsed. And then these both Roosevelt and Winston Churchill came up with a secret meeting, and they have issued the Atlantic Charter, where they have discussed the world needs peace, and it gave birth to United Nations. I just hope that you got a brief idea about the birth of UN. Okay. Next, aims and objectives of UN. As we have seen, peace and security, cooperation among nations, and also UN peacekeeping forces. Why? If you must have seen, if India and Pakistan in 1949, the United Nations have sent the peacekeeping forces to have a dialogue. No, don't take arms, have a dialogue. So UN played a major role in by formation of UN peacekeeping forces. And also United Nations peacekeeping forces has awarded Nobel Peace Prize in 1988 for their efforts to have a peace among nations, or also for their efforts to put a stop of war, and also not taking up the arms in the hands, have a peace, have a dialogue, and have a coordination country, have a coordination and cooperative world among nations. Okay, these are the objectives of UN. Now we will see criticism. See, UNSC, United Nations Security Council, is one of the arm of United Nations. So you must have seen in the Russia-Ukraine war, we are going and having resolutions to take act. Many people are going, to take actions against Israel, to take action against Palestine, to take action against Russia. See, here it is a global platform to question the countries waging of wars, and also imposing sanctions, military interventions, and also isolating them. But the major criticism of UNSC as a whole and UN is like, first of all, power politics. See, here there are only 5 permanent members, US, Russia and all. So there is no neutrality and there is no proper representation. No proper representation of countries from Asia, Africa and Latin America, because it is dominated by only 5 countries, 5 powers, and also misuse of veto power. Misuse of veto power, because for any good thing, if one country passes a resolution, they will use veto power to stop that plan, to stop that development. So misuse of veto power, power politics, narrow, like only US, Russia, China, UK, they will have the powers to decide decision making. If US and Russia have any conflict, they will come up and show in the UNSC by obstacles and all, and no proper representation, like no inclusivity, no representation from Asian, African and Latin American countries. And the world is coming up with, the world has having new problems like, terrorism, cyber crime, etc. It has been formed in the year 1945, but now we are witnessing climate change, we are witnessing new problems. So it has to be reformed to address the present problems. These are the major challenges for the need of UNSC reforms. Okay, next we will see UNSC reforms. See, G4 countries. Have you heard about these G4 countries? India, Brazil, Japan, Germany. These 4 countries are fighting for permanent membership at UN. So they are formed like G4 countries. But To oppose these countries, some other countries formed one club which is known as Coffee Club. Why we are discussing all these G4 Coffee Club and all? Because we can expect these questions in the prelims. So Coffee Club, to oppose India, as everyone knows, Pakistan. To oppose Brazil, Argentina. To oppose Japan, Australia. To oppose Germany, Italy and Spain. So these are the 4 countries who are fighting for permanent membership, and it is one of the steps for the UNSC reforms. And Coffee Club, like Pakistan, Argentina, Australia, Italy and Spain, these countries form together Coffee Club, which are against the membership of these other countries. It might be used for the prelims bit, okay? And also UN Summit of Future. In September 2024, here, UNSC Secretary General Antonio Guterres also said that it is time to reform the UNSC. It is a time to make inclusiveness, to add more members in the UNSC and also a wider representation from all parts of the world, to have a word, to understand the global trend, like present trend global problems, and also to resolve the issue. So now it is end. See, we have seen US unipolar, US Russia bipolar. Now it is a time for new economic order, like multipolar world. All emerging countries are there, like India, Brazil, Germany. Now we are not like, world is not dominant by one country, either 2 countries. It is now a multipolar world. So now it is the time for the UNSC reforms. Okay, we have seen the reasons, and also we are seeing the efforts of the UNSC reforms. How it benefits for India. India's push for UNSC reforms. We have seen India is fighting for permanent member. As we know, it is like representation of global South. We are stressing for a global good governance. And also small groupings like SCO plus BRICS, they question the legitimacy of UNSC. Earlier we have discussed at the SCO and BRICS, India is a member also. Why we need to form small groups? Because we question the legitimacy of UNSC. Here it is a representation. It's like, inclusiveness. But what is happening at UNSC? What is happening at UN? Why there is only narrow representation? So these small groupings, not only SCO, BRICS, some other groupings also, we can, by having these meetings annually, we can question the legitimacy of UNSC, and this SCO and BRICS will give pressure at the UN to bring reforms. So India's push, as India is a global South, and also we are good in world, no matter in which field we are representing, we are voiced as a global South. So we can push, and also there are chances that that is the reason India is a big brother, and also we are making agreements with the countries in the Asian countries, like it may be infrastructure, it may be cultural exchange, it may be technology exchange, whatever. So India plays a major role in bringing the UNSC reforms. Okay, now before entering the practice question, we have seen what is the context of UN, birth of UN, and also what are the challenges at the UNSC, what are the reforms, and India's role at the UNSC reforms. Now we will see the practice question. The Security Council of UN consists of 5 members, and remaining 10 members are elected by General Assembly for a term of how many years? If you know the answer, please do comment in the comment section. And also the main question, how does India's status as the world's largest democracy influence its advocacy for UN Security Council? We have seen, we have seen the class, all the content, you can condense it, and mainly in this particular question, they have focused India's status as the world's largest democracy and its role in bringing the UNSC reforms. I just hope that you have got a brief idea of UN. Thank you so much.